Here we are in a perfectly normal world, absolutely nothing interesting, ignore the minimap. Obviously you know what we're doing, we are here playing Create. I have many goals in mind for this series, but I did notice as I spawned in there is a village over here, and you know, modded or not, we very much need to start off as quick as possible and give the basics, which boring, I know, but still required. Now, my goal for this very first episode of this is to have a base and get the very basics of Create started, which I've done many times. However, there are plenty of things in this series that I am going to be striving to do, which I usually would not, or I would do, but I wouldn't be making it myself. I would find schematics on the internet and I would just use those. I don't just want to do that. I don't want to cram all of my Create machines into one little building or my farms into one tiny little area, because why not instead make many areas to store my farms. But we also have Create Aeronautics in this, which I haven't really played with very much. I don't know how to make functioning airships yet, but it's all gonna be a little learning game that, you know, everyone has to figure out at some point if you're gonna want to play modded Create. But yeah, I came up with the name for this series kind of on the spot as I was asked, what do you want to call this world? And I thought it was fitting to call it Create Automated because, you know, I want to automate very many things, and with the add-ons I've got for stuff like Create Aeronautics and all of the other mods in here, then, you know, we can automate things on a whole new level. These two can be used to automate airships from moving between 2 points, meaning I'm not just limited to trains for moving things around. Hello, random villager. I was considering adding the villager trade rebalance to this, however, villagers are not going to be a priority in this, apart from I had some like the trading floors add-on. But yeah, this is why there's a random villager there, because I've added one structure mod, because adding most of the other types tends to give you far too many good Create related things. But this one, I checked this mod out and it seems to not give you way too many things, whilst also giving you some Create things. This is one of the smaller buildings I can find in here. Gives us some mechanical press, some iron, a depot, which is very helpful for beginning. Oh, a smithing table as well. An anvil. This might actually be a good area to start off, actually. I don't know why I've taken all of these things straight away. Oh, there's even some cobblestone up here. And I'm already out of inventory space. We do, however, have sophisticated backpacks in here, as you should when playing modded, but we need some leather string for that, and I don't have either of those. Actually, I've got plenty of leather armor, but I should probably find some cows and see if I can get some string at all. And there we go, we've now made it for our first night. I found some leather and some string, not quite enough for a backpack yet, and I also got a wolf as well. So if anyone has any ideas what I should name this little guy, then you should let me know below, because I'm not very good with names. Anything to do with naming anything is not going to be a me problem, I can tell you that much. Now I'm just going to go and hopefully find some more leather and string, and then as soon as that is done, then we can start making some Create things. Now I come back from that, we have the string we need, we have the leather we need, just need to make a chest, and then we make a backpack. Yes, I'm cooking my meat on the chimney. However, I did just look for a map for the first time, and I have realized we're actually on quite an interesting little set of islands. This is not what I expected to spawn on when we started it. This does open my mind up to many different ideas, simply because it's interesting generation in my opinion. But this does seem like a good area to where we're not going to have to go out far to be able to find an area to start living, we can even just do it here. We've got a wonderful little mix of biomes. We can put some like a factory or two, like one over there, one over there, and then we can make a big grand train station maybe in the middle, which connects those two, whilst also heading over in this direction or even this direction, depending on how it's looking. We can figure out where exactly those are going to go, because as I said, I don't want it all in one little area. It'd be nice to have multiple different areas, like a lumber yard filled with different trees, and like specifically for anything tree related or even making wood related things, or mine for, you know, mining things and like stuff like iron, gold production, zinc, stuff like that. Anyways, now that we've got ourselves a little bit of resources that we needed, we can go ahead, head into here and get our backpack. There we go. How much slots do we have right now? Just an inventory size, but that is okay because we can upgrade that later on. And I just now realized I forgot to give myself a backpack slot, so I am going to quickly do that. And 1 second later, I can open my inventory and we've got some curious, a linked typewriter. I'll pretend I know what that means. But now I can put our backpack in there and we've got absolutely zero problems. We cannot just press B. I lied. That is for waypoints. As I was trying to say, we can press B, open our backpack now. Very nice and easy. I need to do some very boring mining. I will simply head into the ravine right next to us. I'll get some zinc, get some coal, some andesite, because that is obviously very needed. And then I guess we need to start with stuff like, I've already got a mechanical press. So what should I get next? I guess a sword to get a bunch of wood will be very useful. And one of the things I should definitely aim for today is a mining drill, because that will make things very easy and I can just sit on a mining drill for very long and get a lot of resources very easily. Well, now I found one of these mob spawners. We have found plenty more things of use. I was hoping to just find some more gold ore and then I could go up, get myself a wrench and goggles. However, with finding this, I've got the extra gold needed along with the raw gold I already had, and I've even got an extra backpack, which not entirely sure what to do with that yet, but you know, I guess I can head up to the surface now. Not got as much iron as I hoped, but we'll see how much more I find on the way back up. Right, we made off with a lot of resources. We've got nearly a stack of coal from that. We do have a stack of... oh, not quite yet. We do have a stack of coal overall now. We made off with a bunch of gold. And by a bunch, I mean a whole whopping 5. But that is more than enough for the wrench and goggles that we need. We got some iron, we got some zinc, and a stack of andesite as well. Let's head outside and let's start pressing our gold so we can get our goggles, which does also mean we need to go get some sand, and I'll also need to get a wrench as well. We need a stick, a cogwheel, and 3 gold sheets, which means we need to make our first shafts, because to get this cog we need that, and then we get shafts, and then put a shaft with a plank. There's our cogwheel. Let's take the glass out of here. And then we can make our wrench, which will help us with moving and setting up a lot of our things, and our engineer's goggles, which will help us see how much power we have. For now, if I head out here and also look at this, we can see how much stress it is, how much stress this is generating, for example. Now, what I said I wanted to do was, andesite casing should be pretty simple to get if I get, once again, go ahead and get our andesite alloy, which I must have put up here again. Yep. Which tree around here will be the next to get destroyed? Probably these two, so let's do that. Right click that, and we are now in the andesite age. Ready to make many andesite related things. And with all this, we can now make our saw. We can take that hand crank, we can place place this facing the tree and crank it. And it will destroy the whole tree for us. And there is actually some things to do with these that some people don't actually know you can do. If you place the saw down, put the hand crank on it, and then you use the logs that you have to connect them, and then you hand crank the saw, and because these... just got a map block. As I was trying to say, because these trees are connected and there is no other point at the same height or lower than this one, if you crank this saw now, then it'll break both trees, which is great. And if you do have a long line of trees, and that can actually speed it up a lot. So for now, I'm going to clear up the trees from around this area so we can have an area to think and set many things up. I had this idea once before that I didn't properly follow through with, where I used a dam to power my water wheels. It would be a little bit difficult to do here at the current moment with the resources we do have. However, we do have quite a decent looking valley going on here. So we could set up a dam on this side, a dam on the other side, and then just pump some infinite water over that dam, and then use that to go through a little area with a bunch of large cogwheels in, and that'll look cool, and will also supply our area around here with free power. Not going to be done very quickly, and considering I want to focus on getting a mining machine done today, that is not going to be a today thing, I can tell you that much. We will likely need that before we start work on a workshop though. Now, how exactly do we get the drills that we need? If I search drill in here, we need a lot of andesite alloy, andesite casing. However, we're only going to start with a 3x3 drill, so it won't be that much. We should be able to afford it by now, I would hope. With all of this andesite on us and the zinc I'm about to smelt, but we can turn into ingots. And the wood we have already gathered, we can definitely, hopefully, afford this. We need our logs. Do not need the saw right now though. And then we're just going to make a lot of andesite alloy, which actually, I could get a mixer and a basin that can double my alloy output. So make a basin like that. And then we need a mixer, which requires a whisk, which we need 5 iron sheets. I'm suddenly making this a lot more expensive for myself, but in the long run, I need a hand crank. In the long run, it will be very useful. We've got a basin there, mechanical mixer there, get a cogwheel, chuck that there, move that. Will this be enough power? Yes, it will. And now we can chuck these into here, and we can double our output of andesite alloy. And there we go, 42 andesite alloy added to our little collection. We should now be able to make some saws. Do I know how many? No, but I'm hoping it's 9. It wasn't saws, it was drills. So actually, we can afford it. Oh, we need 1 iron per. But that also means we've got the andesite for it then. We just need 8 more andesite casings. We'll get the iron, and then we get the drills. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There we go. We can make it perfectly enough. It's not necessarily perfectly enough, but or whatever. And I need 3 sheets. So I'll take you and put this in. And with these 3 sheets, I head into here. I make a mechanical plow, and an oversight has occurred. I can't do any of this yet. I need glue, which means I need to get a millstone, which requires more andesite use. And here we get a millstone now, and then with a millstone we can then mill down some wheat, which will then... Is it wheat? It is wheat, isn't it? Yes, which means we then need to make a farm. Oh my... The list is getting longer of things that we need to do. I just want to make a mining machine today, and then that will be it. It was clearly not as simple as I thought it was going to be in my head. Is that a vanilla thing? I did not know that was a valid way of getting hanging roots. In fact, I even tend to forget that hanging roots even exist. Head into here. Do we have any more seeds? Not of the type I want, so let's get some bones and some bone meal. Bone meal it a few times. Waste some bone meal. Wheat flour and the millstone, yep, which we also need to do to some flowers as well. To get some lime dye, which if I check, we've got plenty of different flowers to choose from. Annoyingly, though, I don't have any memory of running into any of them. Let's just chuck this in here for now. That miss. Chuck that in there for now. There we go. We even got another seed from that, so let's chuck that there. Let's make 2 dough from that. Do you have any cows nearby? I'm still waiting for some cows. No? Okay, then I guess we're going on a flower hunt in this direction. We'll check with birch forests. Oh, nope. I found what we need. Lily of the Valley. There we go. We can use these. That's quite a lot of them here, actually. We will take quite a bit then. I believe these ones have one of the higher chances. No, 10%. It's the same as any other. The Lily of the Valley is in there. Which now means you just have to stand here and hope we get lime dye. And if I don't get lime dye, it's time to cry. Okay, we've got one. On this beautiful sunset, please give me my second lime dye. Right now. There we go. 4? Oh, that's even better than I thought. Oh, let's just mill the last 2, because why not? We got very lucky with the final 10. Oh my. Oh, let's also... Oh, that's a dreadful colour. And now we can do what children love to do and make slime balls. Head into here. Do we have like a spare iron ingot or anything? We have a zinc ingot. Can we do it with that? No, it needs to be an iron one. We're gonna need to go mining again before I can make the mining machine. Great. Now to build this machine, we are going to need a furnace, a minecart. We're going to need some rails as well. But then we can put the minecart with the furnace, make a minecart with furnace. We can get the rails. We also need a cart assembler. It's good we got the redstone when we were down there previously. Alright, let's head out here real quick. So we put this down. We put that there. Chuck the barrel there. And then we want the... I realized something. I can't make the mining machine yet. I mean, I can. I just need to place the rails for it. Because I don't have a deployer. Which requires me to go to the nether. Which requires me to get a blaze burner. Or I can make part of the mining machine, I guess. Oh, I'm such an idiot. Well, for now, we'll leave a very obvious deployer-shaped gap there. And I guess we will still build it. Put it together. Use it a little bit, the little bit that we can as it is. We want to connect that bit up to that bit and connect that down to there. Originally the episode ended with me getting these diamonds, however I decided I don't want to end the episode without finishing what I originally sought out to do. So I went to the nether, killed a ghast, got the disc. I went to a nether fortress, took some blazes. Headed back home, and with my new blaze burner I put copper and zinc together to make some brass. Using this brass I made a deployer, attached it up to the mining machine, and then finally what we originally sought out to do for the end of this episode was completed. Well, that is going to be it for today's episode. We did some very, very basic things, but those things are very, very needed. We got our super glue, we got our first minecart contraption, which is very much unfinished because of my brain cells not being the best. And we've got a very basic home and a very tiny little sort of workshop setup going on here. We've got our first diamonds, which will put us ready for next time when we head to the Nether to be able to finish our mining contraption. And I will share more information about the dam I plan to build here for my wonderful power for my workshop and the stuff connecting on this island. But that is for next time. See you later. Oh, actually, before then, remember to name my wolf something. Just let me know below, and then I can choose from there whichever one I will enjoy. See ya.